Hi! How you doing, guys? So, today we're doing our third video of the day in the comeback, which is crazy. So, this is, basically, so I did a show reaction, an NBA reaction, and I'm just doing a reaction to whatever the hell I want, because that's basically what the schedule is going to be. I'm going to do a show reaction, an NBA video reaction, and then a reaction to whatever the hell I want. And also a song reaction, but we'll get to that in a few days. But, so today we're going to be reacting to Drake versus Kendrick Lamar, the 100% full story explained, and the YouTuber this is by is What's the Dirt. So make sure to subscribe to them, watch the original video, and yeah, so I already know I'm not going to react to the diss tracks because I've already heard every single diss track, but we are going to react to analysis of those tracks because I think that's really interesting. To just look at every line and detail out it, because this guy has a 1 hour long video of the analysis on Euphoria, a 6-minute song, and he has an hour-long analysis of it. So that's how you know there's so much stuff packed in this. And before we get into those analysis, I think it'd be fun to just look at the 100% full history, because I know the history up until like a few months ago. I know all the tracks that are released in the last few months, and everything that's been going on Twitter and stuff, and on Instagram. But you know, if this is a 47-minute long video, so strap in. Get you some popcorn, and we're gonna see how long ago this stretches back to. Obviously, Drake and Kendrick Lamar have been some of the biggest artists since basically the beginning of the 2010s up until now. So we'll see. And also, if you have heard the diss tracks, who do you think won, and why was it Kendrick? If you think Drake won, then you are just, I think you're uneducated, my friend. But yeah, make sure to subscribe to this channel, because if you like this, we're gonna do reactions to analysis for all the tracks that have came out. I know I'm very late, but my first upload to YouTube in months, so yeah, and also it took time for them to make these videos and analyzing the tracks, so it's good that we came in late to do that, even if I never got to do my reactions to the actual tracks themselves. So yeah, let's get Drake vs. Kendrick Lamar, the 100% full story explained. Let's go.
Drake and Kendrick Lamar hate each other. Well, at least one of them hates the other person, while the other is...
If there's any rap beef where one person legitimately despises the other person, it's Kendrick literally hates this motherfucker, this Canadian motherfucker right here. It's insane.
Tried many times to be friendly and squash things. One rapper seemed to believe that they were actually friends.
Why is Drake always... I hate that Drake does this face. It's like... hate this so much.
The other looked at their relationship as a business transaction.
Okay, I don't know if this is insensitive, but his hat does look like it's just above his head. It's not even on his head in this photo.
After 2 weeks of research, it's safe to say that one MC has lost every ounce of respect for the other. You guys really like my last video.
This is actually good predictions too. This video actually came out like 5 months ago, which is before Kendrick originally dissed. I'm pretty sure this is before Kendrick dissed Drake on I Like That. So yeah, it's pretty preemptive here.
Video where I broke down all the subliminal disses from Drake's new album, so I decided to stick with it.
Oh, and by the way, if you like my album reactions and you are interested in this, you can be really interested, because we're gonna start our hip hop album journey next week. Get ready for that. It's gonna be a long journey. We're looking to the whole history in order. Stay prepared. Yeah, we'll eventually get to Kendrick and Drake albums. Because I haven't heard any full albums from them. I just know their biggest songs. So yeah, and obviously I've heard all this beef that's been going on, and I've been paying attention to it, but yeah.
In my last video, I asked you guys to hit the like button, which is something I don't usually do, but the video did really well, and I don't know if that's why.
Make sure to like this video too if you like it, because I'm a small YouTuber. Helps grow the channel if you think I deserve it at all. So yeah.
Alright, but just do me a favor and hit that like button again. Thanks. So, when it comes to Kendrick and Drake, they weren't always on bad terms. Back in 2011, Drake had already blown up, and Kendrick had yet to release a major debut album. Now, Kendrick was definitely buzzing, but he was far from the star that Drake was. Even back in 2009, Kendrick mentioned Drake on a track.
What accent is this guy? I can't tell. It's like I don't know. It's like almost American, but not quite.
Where he pretty much admits that he thinks he's better. So Kendrick identified really early on that the mainstream hip-hop wasn't really his thing. However, on June 16, 2011, Kendrick...
Notice that date, 6/16, comes back later, man. Like, that title is like a 10 entendres in that one title. It's insane.
...performed in Toronto for the very first time, And when Drake found out he was in the city, he decided to hit him up so that they could meet.
I need y'all to know, it's my first motherfucking time out here, you dig?
And Kendrick would speak about meeting Drake in a double XL magazine and said, "That's a real good dude. He got a real genuine soul. We clicked immediately." And it was during that meeting
Weird looking
that
at now.
Kendrick provided Drake with a copy of his unreleased album, Section 80.
Visions of Martin Luther staring at me.
Kendrick said that Drake was the first person outside of his team to hear Section 80.
That's crazy.
And Drake was blown away by the project. I even found a 2011 tweet.
The thing about Drake is that Kendrick's music, I haven't heard a lot of his songs, but it's like so good that like Drake in his diss tracks never went after Kendrick's music because he knew it would just sound like bullshit if he just went after calling his music trash.
Where Drake posted Kendrick's lyrics from ADHD.
We never do this unless it comes with it anyway.
Drake liked Kendrick's music so much that he asked him to be on his upcoming sophomore album, Take Care. Throughout the track, Kendrick talks about meeting Drake for the first time and how he was surprised that Drake wasn't fake like most of the music business.
Hit me on the cellular, thought he was gonna sell me a false word like the rappers I know.
Kendrick outlines how Drake showed him a taste of what being rich and famous actually looked like.
Sat down with a few drinks located where you can't see us. A white waitress on standby when we need her.
On the track, Kendrick
Drake definitely lives a lot more of the rich style life than Kendrick in terms of like you know like being opposed to. I don't know how to say it, but yeah, it's a lot more of this more traditional celebrity life. Kendrick more of the traditional family life later on.
really
We get to.
battles with the idea of becoming famous, as he's worried that it will change him for the worse.
Yeah, like damn, this next level that I'm going to, will I get caught up in the lifestyle and would that make me or break me? And that was what the whole record was about when I did the interlude.
And I mean, even back then, we could see the difference in these two artists, where Drake is talking about the Maybachs and his lavish life, and Kendrick is worried about his mental health.
This is a sick background, by the way, with all these murals right here. Biggie, Cube, Nipsey, and
His relationships, his friendships.
Mac.
It's interesting because just 2 or 3 years later, the dude did get depressed from just being in the industry.
I didn't know you were suffering from depression the way you said you was on that. Like,
Yeah.
Did the industry cause that?
Not the industry, just the change.
And Drake only continues to show Kendrick more love by taking him and A$AP Rocky on his Club Paradise tour.
This is my brother A$AP Rocky. This is my brother Kendrick Lamar.
By the way, he's doing that face again that I was talking about earlier. 1 second.
He continues to show Kendrick more love by
Yeah, the. What the hell is that,
taking
dude?
him and A$AP Rocky on his Club Paradise tour.
This is my brother A$AP Rocky. This is my brother Kendrick Lamar.
I'm on this motherfucking Club Paradise tour, matter of fact. My nigga Drake, TDE, High Power Wings, you know.
And Drake has always claimed to have fought with management to take these guys on tour because his label had other plans.
You know, it's people I can put on here that the label wants me to put on here, but I fight for this one reason, man. Like, I fight to promote what I love. You know what I'm saying? I fight to promote the music that I truly love. So
Drake would
It's crazy some of these rappers have such longevity, like Kendrick and Drake having being some of the biggest rappers. Like this is over 10 years ago, and they're still the two biggest rappers today. It's insane.
mention this again in 2016 on his track 4 p.m. in Calabasas.
When he told me take an R&B, nigga,
Which Kendrick later pokes fun at these titles that he has with the timestamp and the city with the 616 in LA again. Once another entendre, insane song title. It's the most insane song title of all time.
on the road, and I told him no and drew for Kendrick and Rocky.
However, Kendrick's superstardom quickly catches up with Drake, as a year later he dropped one of the best hip-hop albums of all time, Good Kid, Mad City.
On the list.
Jealous of him to follow. He was the one to follow.
And Black Boy Fly is a bonus track, but to me, that's one of the most beautiful songs on that album. Absolutely amazing storytelling. And it was on that album where Drake returns the favor and gives Kendrick a feature on Poetic Justice.
I really hope you play this, cause oh girl, you test my patience.
And on the day that the album dropped, Drake even posted a tweet saying, "Congratulations to Kendrick, incredible body of work, honored to be a part of it." However, even at this
That's kind of an ironic title, considering, you know, Drake lifting up Kendrick and then eventually Kendrick bringing Drake down. Poetic justice right there.
Kendrick and Drake couldn't be more different in terms of how they approach music and life in general.
Really, money really don't make me. I'm learning that now. You know, that's not really my peace of mind, having money.
I love Electra Chung's shoulders.
You love the shoulders?
I just love her shoulders.
She's actually blushing as well. She's
No doubt about it. They're just two different guys.
Very, yeah,
Next,
very different side of the spectrum there.
we get a bit of an inside look on how Kendrick actually sees Drake as a person when the legend himself, DMX, claims that he would love to beat Drake up.
Man, I wish it was like maybe 7 years ago.
This is an iconic clip right here. I've seen
Or
this.
like 10 years ago, where, you know, catch the elevator, beat him up.
DMX is one of the funniest rappers on all the clips I've seen of him. It's just so many funny clips.
And just a few days later, Kendrick was asked about his thoughts on DMX's rant, and he thought it was
DMX also, I saw this in a Tub video. One time, he has had police lights on his car, and he would just go up to people and just flash them and pretend he was a police officer, so people would just get out of his way. And he got caught one time with someone just wasn't getting out of his way, because they were like, "You're not a police officer," and he wasn't. So, yeah, that's a weird guy. Rest in peace.
saying that his entire tour bus nearly died of laughter.
I'm wondering why these niggas in the front of the bus just cracking up, like hitting walls and shit, just crying. I'm like, bro, what the niggas talking about? They mute, they stop laughing, right? I just hear X going off on a laptop, just spazzing. I'm like, what's going on? It's like, yeah, he's going in right now.
This is the first time where it's like he's kind of going away from Drake, you know, because he's laughing at this guy making fun of him.
Remember, Drake is pretty sensitive, so if he did see that,
Very sensitive guy from everything I've seen.
probably felt away.
those whole memes are Drake the kind of guy, you know. Drake the type of guy to sniff a pie and lift up into the air while drooling, you know.
So the two would work together for the very
Drake the type of guy to wear those blue pajamas with a coned hat with a white cotton ball at the end, and then go me 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 me, and then blow out a candle before he goes to sleep. Go me 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 me, and then snores as the feather goes down, and every time he snores, it goes back up.
very last time on one of 2013's biggest hits.
The last
A$AP
collab,
Rocky's
insane.
Girl, I know you want that dick. Girl, I'm Kendrick Lamar.
Well, that was it. After that, you never see these two on a track together again. In
Dang.
2013, things
11 years
started to
ago.
get a lot more competitive between the two, because at this point, Kendrick was not just an up-and-comer, he had become that guy.
Getting a lot of accolades from your peers and the hip-hop icons.
I love Kendrick Lamar.
Number one on that list. Kendrick Lamar, what's up?
The hip-hop savior, it seems like. Woo!
And let's not forget, Drake is still Drake. He had a phenomenal year also.
Most streamed artist of all time, and he's still. Dude, that's like his resting face, and I hate this. Just
Shout out to Hamilton. Shout out to Toronto one time. Like the best rap album goes. And they said take care.
Given the success of both artists,
him taking a drink out of his Grammy trophy, and then Kendrick is gonna end up with a lot more Grammys than Drake.
media and fans started to debate who was better, and Kendrick started off the year with a bang when he was awarded MTV's hottest MC in hip-hop.
And we went through about 15 of them, narrowed it down to 10.
Who's y'all's favorite rapper of all time? This is my first ever kind of rap style video, so let's get some basic questions out the way in the comment section for new viewers who are into this kind of thing.
The 10 became 5, the 5 became 2. And you, Kendrick Lamar, are the hottest MC in the game, according to the MTV brain.
And most of Kendrick's hip-hop friends seem to be happy for him.
I heard you're not happy about that.
Nah, I wasn't until I found out who's number one. They made my man number one, K-Dot,
Yes.
Kendrick, so I'm straight with that.
However, Drake was one person that certainly did not send any sort of congratulations to Kendrick.
What about your rap peers? Did they call? I know it's kind of competitive, so did they say congratulations?
My rap peers, he Cole.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
And I mean, at this
It's ironic to hear because fucking Cole, you know, you have to diss track, then apologizes you know, who out here thinks Kendrick Lamar is is yeah, fire, whatever the hell he said, but yeah, him liking him all the way back here, and then Drake kind of growing distant. I don't understand why. I don't understand how you could say Kendrick. I mean, obviously, I haven't heard a lot of the songs, right? A lot of the songs. I've only heard like the most popular stuff, right? But I'm just saying, like, Drake is a lot more of a pop artist than he is a rapper. I feel. I don't know. Maybe I need to hear more Drake rap songs, but yeah, I don't know.
At this point, Drake's at least
Don't know,
got
man.
to be thinking like, this guy's starting to become a problem. He's getting a little bit close now. And Kendrick's winning streak was just beginning, as 2 months later, he cleaned up at the 2013 BET Awards, winning the Best Male Hip Hop Artist over Drake.
I came up in the same county building, food stamps, welfare, Section 8.
And this time, I did find a tweet from Drake where he congratulates Kendrick on the win. Congrats to Kendrick as well. Nothing was the same. With all that said, things were about to change.
Oh, here we go.
August 12, 2013 was a special moment for hip-hop. To this day, it still stands out as one of the most exciting things to happen in the last decade. On Big Sean's
Here we
Control,
go.
Kendrick let everyone in hip-hop know just how competitive he
On
was
Demon Time here.
to that #1 spot.
On Demon Time.
Homeboys with the same niggas I'm rhyming with, but this is hip hop and them niggas should know what time it is. And that goes for Jamaica, Big Crit, my name. Pusha T, Meek Mills, A$AP Rocky,
Just calling out everybody. Bop, 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 bop.
Drake, Big Sean, J Electron, Tyler McMillan. I got love for you all, but I'm
What Tyler do, man?
trying to make sure your core fans never heard of you niggas. They don't want to hear not one more noun or verb from you niggas.
We could really, really use a moment like that right now in hip-hop.
It's rain like it's Mayweather. Good.
Foreshadowing there. It did happen. It did happen. That was basically the Like That verse. Had this even a bigger effect than this. It was basically this on steroids, but you know, obviously just a Drake and Cole, mainly Drake.
And let's just give it up for Big Sean, because to me, he had one of his career best verses, but it just got overshadowed because of Kendrick's verse.
I said fuck trying
It do be like that sometimes, man. It do be like that.
and not doing, cause not doing is something a nigga not doing. I grew up the big and pop bitch and got ruined. So until I got the same crib, big hat in that juicy vid, bitch, I can't motherfucking stop moving.
But when it came to Kendrick's verse, nobody that he mentioned had a problem with it.
I've never heard that full song. Yeah, I just heard the disses in that song. Maybe I should. Like, I listen to that.
That's fame, yo. I think hip hop need this shit, man.
You know, I knew what it was for hip hop culture. I knew how important it was.
Calling out Sean when you on his own song is so crazy.
He said my name, like he said a couple people's name, and he said he's the best rapper. I say I'm the best rapper every song I'm on.
Yeah, but he wasn't coming at him in a disrespectful way. He come at him in a competitive way. So for me, it's one of those things where
Yeah, he wasn't really dissing. He was just kind of saying, and he was just naming a bunch of rappers and going, "I'm the best one." So it's not really that much of a diss, you know, because every rapper says they're the best rapper. It's a sport, bro. Hip hop is a sport, man. Every rapper says they're the best rapper.
I didn't take it necessarily as a diss. Hip hop is competitive, but I am a competitor.
Wait, sorry. Nobody had a problem except for Drake.
I just like, I don't know, it just wasn't real to me. It's like, I saw him
Mr. Sensitive, man. Sorry for my loud-ass dog barking in the background.
after that, and it was just like love. So it's like, was that real or was that just like for the people? You know what I mean?
I think it's a sparring kind of sport.
Yeah,
so
but
you're not
at
into
the
that.
same time, it's like, you know, then let it be real then, you know, I mean, because those were harsh words, right? So it's like, you can't just say that and then see me and be like, yeah, man, what's up? Pretending like nothing ever happened. Like, that's not real.
And this right here is a perfectly good example of why people call Drake soft and emotional. You can't act this way and then sit back and wonder why people are labeling you as such. Like, this is why. And it's interesting because when Drake came into the game, he seemed to understand that competition came with the genre.
It's a great thing, though, to be competitive with those guys because you're always pushing yourself. I mean,
And look, Drake was not a rapper that you could just push around. He did go toe-to-toe with people before. Back in the day, a Toronto rapper by the name of Aristo seriously tried to end Drake's career, and it didn't end well for this guy.
And it's the room of resolution, I'm finishing it in here. If I copy Buddy's flow, you mimicking his career.
It was
Ooh.
good riddance. It was lights out.
Drake does have good diss tracks, okay? The thing about Drake is, he actually is one of the best at diss tracks. Some great diss tracks came out back to back. Is a fantastic diss track on Meek Mill, fantastic song. Whether or not he wrote it, it's up for debate. But yeah, and also you know, Family Matters. If Family Matters was against literally any other rapper, it would have been a really good diss track. It's just that it was up against, you know, arguably the best rapper of all time, or certainly of right now. So just didn't end up that way for the boy.
Oh, it was a body, and that's what it was, man. And that's why good riddance. And what happened? Good riddance, right? Bye.
I remember when this dropped because it was all over the hip-hop blogs in Canada. And yeah, we did have hip-hop blogs in Canada.
Oh, there's a Canadian accent. Okay, that's why I say it's almost American, but yeah, it's a Canadian accent. Let's see.
2009, they did exist. With all that said, Drake dropped Nothing Was the Same, and we get to hear the first subliminal shot for Kendrick.
Well, here we go.
Track titled The Language, Drake immediately starts out with a shot.
I don't know why they been lying, but your shit is not that inspiring.
So when Kendrick's Control verse
Okay.
dropped, Drake
Okay.
stated on multiple occasions that he did not find the verse impressive, that he thought it was for shock value, and that it would soon be forgotten.
But it was real cool for like, you know, a couple weeks. But like, if I asked you, for example, like, how does that verse start?
One of Drake's more notable claims was that Kendrick had a great first album, but he questioned whether or not he could do it again.
And as far as Kendrick,
And his next album is To Pimp a Butterfly, right? Which is the highest rated album of all time on Rate Your Music.
goes, like, I
So
can't wait to see what he does, because now it's time to show and prove. And consistency it's been one album. Consistency is like, you need more than one album. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's time to show and prove.
Drake claimed that he was all about putting out memorable bodies of work as opposed to creating moments.
When it comes to competition, I'm more worried about consistency. I'm more worried about bodies of work.
However, Drake continues to send some more shots.
here we go.
Nigga that's talking that shit just to get a reaction.
yeah, that's definitely a Kendrick shot. Definitely was what he's been saying about the song, and then saying that, yeah, 100%. There's no one else that could be towards.
Again, Drake refers to Kendrick as someone that wrote the Control verse to get attention.
And all this sneak dissing we're about to probably see over the next 33 minutes, 34 minutes, is what Kendrick was talking about. Fuck sneak dissing, I hate the way that you sneak diss, in his songs.
I am the kid with the motor mouth. I am the one you should worry about.
A motor mouth is defined as a person who talks quickly and continuously, often without considering what they're saying. In this case, someone that raps fast. Is clearly about Kendrick.
Talking that shit with your back to me, just know it always get back to me.
So outside of the DMX comment, there were some other interviews where Kendrick had laughed at Drake's expense.
I heard about you touring with Drake. I was like, that's dope, that's dope. But I was like, well, I hope he doesn't hang with Drake too hard, because Drake isn't exactly doing what we thought he would, what many of nerdy backpackers like myself thought he might be doing a few years ago.
Right.
And honestly, man, at this point, I would not be one bit surprised if Kendrick said something behind Drake's back and it got back to him. Like, I wouldn't be surprised at all. At the 2013 BET Hip Hop Awards, Kendrick decided to throw some gas on the fire.
Here we go.
Into the awards with the most nominations at 14, and Drake was a very close second with 13. However,
and then look who's third. Wait, hold up. Look who's third. Hold up. Oh,
I
crap.
wouldn't be surprised at all. Awards with the most nominations at 14.
Look who's third. J. Cole, man. The big three. This is 11 years ago. Still the big three, man. Or fuck, if but look who's at the top still. Here, and then straight to this day, fuck the big three, it's just big me.
And Drake was a very close second with 13. However, Kendrick would be the man to come out on top, winning Lyricist of the Year, MVP of the Year, Album of the Year, and
Insane.
Feature of the Year.
Sweep.
Drake also came out with a handful of awards for Best Hip Hop Video, Track of the Year, and People's Champ. However, it would be Kendrick again that stole the show.
Yeah, and nothing been the same since they took control and took the sense of the rapper back
Oh, yeah. That's definitely a shot at Drake, because no one else is being a sensitive rapper. Everyone else is being all cool about it. There's only one guy who's being an all sensitive rapper about it. That's crazy.
So pretty self-explanatory. Kendrick uses Drake's
Very nice.
album titled "Nothing Was the Same." to
Oh yeah, I
talk
didn't even catch that. Nothing been the same. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
call him out
Very
for
nice, very nice.
sensitive regarding-
See, the thing about Drake's songs, Drake I think is a very surface. I don't know. Okay, once again, white guy who hasn't heard many of these songs talking out of his ass. But the songs I've heard, Drake is a very surface level lyricist. Like there'll be good lines, but you'll get what the line's saying immediately. Like you won't have to listen. Like on the third listen, you already know what every line means, right? But Kendrick is a lot more like you can, a lot more deeper stuff that you just catch. And you're like, oh shit, I didn't catch that yet. A lot more complexity to the bars.
regarding the control verse. And this whole thing got a lot of people excited, and just the very next day, Sway asked Kendrick if the bars were meant for Drake.
Was people want to know, was that directed towards Drake or anybody in particular? Huh?
Just us having fun as usual.
But Drake did not seem to think so, and just a few weeks later,
Of course.
he came with some more subliminal shots on a future track titled Shit. And that's the name of the song, Shit. But
Great name.
I always like this record.
Took niggas out the hood like I'm from there. So you know it's all good when I come there. I hear you talk about your city like you run there. Then I brought my tour to your city. You my son there, nigga.
And to me, this is one of
Okay,
the
okay.
best subliminal shots of the whole saga. Like, Drake sounds like Jay-Z here. It's a very Hove-like thing to say where he's just completely sonning Kendrick. So it's been known that Kendrick puts on heavy for the West Coast, claiming that he's the king. But Drake refers to him as his son because Kendrick went on his first big tour with Drake, and of course they had some shows in California. At the time, even Kendrick admitted that he was not used to these large crowds.
The transition of me doing 2,000 venues, I've been doing packed in.
Drake's only nod against Kendrick this entire time, and even with the diss tracks happening and stuff, was that he's a bigger artist. Like that's his only thing. He's a bigger artist than Kendrick, which yeah, he is. But I don't know anymore. Not like that. Not like us breaking all types of records, all types of streaming records. So, kind of got done there.
It's
Out of saying all this shit.
Doing this 10,000, I gotta really work with magic.
I even found a Kendrick tweet from 2012 when he was on tour with Drake, where he says, "Finally home, LA, Club Paradise. Let's see what happens tonight."
And if a nigga say my name, he the hot shit. But if I say that nigga name, he still the hot shit. Lucky I don't be into the gossip.
So this one clearly a reference to Kendrick's control verse. A lot of MCs responded to Kendrick with a verse of their own. Drake is basically claiming that given the fact that he's a bigger artist, if he says Kendrick's name, he's just doing him a favor. And this next one's not even a diss. I just want to show you guys my favorite line from the song.
And niggas ain't got a grill, still ice grill hating. I know you already know Mike Will made it. Just looking at the numbers, nigga, I feel amazing. I'll call Michael Jordan up and Mike will make it. I'm the young rapper.
He just signed it.
That's a nice double, there. Mike will made it. Mike will make it.
Deal with
Nice,
Jordan,
nice, nice.
Mike Will made the beat. Shit's fire. Come on. However, just a few days later,
That's a good line. Good line.
issue of Vibe magazine was released, and Drake talks about Kendrick again, stating how he didn't like how the control verse messed with the rollout of his album. Where it became an issue is that I was rolling out an album while that verse was still bubbling, so my album rollout became about this thing. Drake then continues to position himself as someone that is above anything that Kendrick has to say. He's hungry, so he's going.
See, Drake's the one initializing all of this, because, dude, Kendrick just made a verse and he was like, hey, yo, I'm gonna name a bunch of rappers, I'm better than you. And then Drake is taking this shit so seriously, he's just gone with it. All the Kendrick said back, he's like, hey, bro, you're being sensitive. And then Drake keeps talking about it and talking about it and keeps going at it. Like, dude, this guy poked the bear for way too long, and it came back to bite him in the end.
Going to do what he has to do, like the BET cipher, but again, it's not enough for me to go.
Great research, by the way, going through all this for all the years to eventually get all the whole story. So, great work here for What's the Dirt.
I have to realize I'm being baited, and I'm not going to fall. Jordan doesn't have to play pickup to prove that he can play ball. No offense. Now, at this point in the story, we're about to witness one of the biggest upsets in Grammy history. At the 56th annual Grammy Awards,
I think I know
Kendrick
this.
lost the Hip Hop
Macklemore.
Album of the Year to Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, and rightfully so.
Racism,
People
dude.
were outraged.
There has to be some racism to that, dude. What is that?
All you gotta do is look at Pharrell's face. It says it all. He's just trying to get off the stage as quickly as possible. Like, how did they get me to do this? And Macklemore, feeling the heat, decided to text Kendrick afterwards and say that he felt he should have won and that he got robbed. And it would have been a nice gesture.
Macklemore's actually a really good dude. Really good dude.
If he didn't take a screenshot of the text and post it on social media for everyone to see. And just a month
That is corny as fuck, though. That's some Jason Tatum texting Kobe shit.
later, Drake gave his 2 cents in a Rolling Stone interview. You won. Why are you posting your text message? Just chill. Take your W, and if you feel like you didn't deserve it, go get better, make better music. It felt cheap. It didn't feel genuine. Why do that? Why feel guilt? You think those guys would pay homage to you if they won? To name just Kendrick? That shit made me feel funny. No, in that case,
Nah.
you robbed everybody. We all need text messages. Now you guys tell me, does Drake seem like he's defending Kendrick in this article?
Hell
Or does
nah.
it seem like he's
Yeah,
soft?
he's mad that fucking that he thought people thinking Kendrick deserved it instead of his album and shit. So yeah.
Because he's not in the mix. At this point, the
My dog needs to shut the fuck up, dude.
feud dies down for about 8 months, and Drake even had some very kind words for Kendrick at his OVO Fest when he brought out J. Cole.
OVO.
And while you all got your phones out, I want to shout out my nigga Kendrick Lamar. Shout out to Kendrick. Kendrick was on my
Weird thing to see, man.
tour together. That's one of the hardest niggas alive right there. He's legendary, so shout out to him. He should be standing right there.
However, it looks like
That's weird to say, man. Them and Cole, because eventually they still do a song together 10 years later, first person shooter, and they're like, he should be standing right there, because he's the other big 3 member, and he goes back and he roasts them both. Insane.
Kendrick did not get the message, as just 2 months later, he responds to Drake's Motormouth line on a J-Rock track
Here we go.
titled Pay For It.
I tell him all the hell, King Kendrick, resurrected my vengeance, been dissecting your motor mouth till I burst out the engine.
Here we go.
Really a response to Drake's subliminal on the language. Again, Kendrick inserts himself as the king, and he doesn't seem to think that Drake can go to distance with him. And it will be just 2 weeks later where Kendrick gets asked about this alleged diss.
You know, a lot of rumors are with the Drake thing. Like, you know, did you really bring the Drake thing back with the J Rock single, or what's that about?
What? I ain't hear about
The
it.
Drake feud. Or
Oh,
Look at
no,
him
okay.
going.
Yeah.
Damn, man.
No.
You're disgusting.
I think that's people digging in. That's people digging in way too far.
Once again, we're all reaching, and it's not about Drake. And
Yeah,
then
of
just
course,
a few
man, of
days
course.
later, Kendrick would get asked
course.
about his now year-old control verse, and this time he said that all the people that mattered understood it, and for the people who didn't, they don't matter.
The people.
All the people that mattered. That's such a good sublime right there.
Respected. You know, those people that need to deal.
Yeah.
What's the important people? that respect and knew what it was, and you know, people that don't respect it, obviously they're just people that don't get it, and you know, really didn't matter.
And again,
That's so funny, because really there was only one dude who didn't get it. So it's just the system, yeah.
Kendrick claims that the chances of seeing him and Drake go head-to-head is slim to none because they're two different artists.
It's just
Of
a whole
course.
nother dynamic. I can't see myself going bar for bar with Drake. You know, we're two different type of artists. You, know what I'm
You
saying?
eat Drake. I've argued that.
And I honestly feel like this
Facts.
is just Kendrick downplaying
Nostradamus right there.
Drake as not being on his level.
I mean, we all knew. Come on now.
I don't think he respects Drake. I don't think he really ever respected Drake. And there's some underlying meaning behind this when he keeps saying it.
Would Drake be somebody you would like to have some fun with?
Nah, I couldn't. We come from two different worlds, two different backgrounds. I really don't
He's saying we're not built the same. Okay, it would not be fair.
see,
Okay.
playing out, you know, as entertaining, maybe to you know the people listening, you know, not for myself.
Keep in mind, Kendrick was classified as the savior of hip-hop. He was embraced by everyone just for the art, whereas someone like Drake really had to go to distance to prove himself, and even then, he could never win over the fans that it marred a certain level of lyricism.
Still
Many
hasn't.
consider Drake to be a pop star.
Yeah.
And I feel like Kendrick is saying this without really saying
Yeah,
it.
he's saying I'm a rapper. You know, I'm a real rapper, and you're like a pop star. You know, not a real rapper like me. You know.
However, next Drake drops his surprise mixtape, If You're Reading This Is Too Late, and on that project, he had some more shots for Kendrick.
They gon' say your name on them airwaves. They gon' hit you up right after like it's only rap.
So Drake had claimed previously
Yeah,
that
once
he
again.
saw Kendrick.
Yeah, talking about the control verse once again. You know, say your name and then say it's only rap, which it was, but you know.
Just 5 days
Once
after
again, man, you got this guy continue to poke the damn bear.
the control verse, and it was all love.
I know that that verse had no malice behind it because I saw him 5 days later at the VMAs and it was all love.
And at this time, Drake was the talk of the town because this surprise project made a big splash. So just a few weeks later, Kendrick decided to shake things up and finally dropped his long-awaited album
Here
by
we go.
surprise as well.
And when I wake
I didn't know.
up,
I didn't know this one was a surprise release.
looking at me for the pay cut, but how much
This was ranked as the greatest hip hop song of the streaming era. Fantastic song, one of the greatest songs I've ever heard. Makes me really want to listen to all the other Kendrick songs. Yeah, this one is just fantastic. All right.
Naturally, fans and the media pitted the two albums against each other. Kendrick, bruh, how do you let Drake drop a mixtape that goes harder than your album? A freaking mixtape. Not gonna compare Drake and Kendrick anymore because they're not even playing the same sport right now. Kendrick is in his own league. And comparing these projects makes zero sense. It's apples to oranges. Drake's project was great for club DJs, gym playlist, cruising in the car, whereas Kendrick's album touched on real-world issues, was
Right.
chanted during protest, and is looked at today as one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time. However, Drake wasn't done as he let another one go on the game's track 100.
The game dissed him too. Eventually, right? I don't know.
Again, Kendrick had
No, that's just an incorrect statement right there.
just released To Pimp a Butterfly, his most conscious album to date, and Drake is basically saying that he could do that style if he wanted.
No, he couldn't. I think Kendrick was not like us. Proved that if Kendrick really wanted to, he could make like club bangers. You know, make pop songs that are like on the same level as Drake. You know, but Drake, no, not in a million years could make a conscious rap on the same level. Hell no.
But he's on a different
Just don't believe
mission
that.
with his music. Also important to note, the video for this track was filmed in Compton. So Drake is saying all this while in Kendrick City.
I'm in the club every time that they play the competition. If they even play the competition, then I seen the response they get.
Now, the game was asked about this, and he didn't seem to think it was a shot at Kendrick, but he also didn't count it out.
Drake was taking subliminals at Kendrick on that song, and Kendrick caught it and wanted to return something. I think that would be great for hip-hop.
However, one of the
It was.
worst things to be exposed for as a rapper was about to happen to Drake.
Ghostwriting. Here we go.
On July 22nd, 2015, Meek Mill took to Twitter to expose Drake for having ghostwriters.
10 bands, 50 bands, 100 bands, man.
I can remember having a conversation with my little brother on the phone, and we were both saying, like, there's no way that Drake has ghostwriters because he's too good of a writer himself. It just doesn't make sense.
This ain't 20v1. It's a 1v20 if I gotta smack that right with you.
But boy, were we wrong.
Okay, 10 bands,
50 bands, 100 bands, man.
Did you hear the reference tracks? Line for line, word for word. This is bad. No, it's a terrible time to be a Drake fan. Shortly after Meek's tweets, the reference tracks would leak to support the ghostwriter allegations. And now
Insane.
we get back to Kendrick, who just a few months earlier made reference to rappers with ghostwriters on his single King Kunta.
But a rapper with a ghostwriter. What the fuck happened? I swore I went down.
So basically, Kendrick found out about this ghostwriting shit months before.
Once again, dude, yeah, Kendrick definitely knows way more shit than the public does about Drake, and he's been, because obviously in his diss tracks he kept revealing shit that wasn't known to the public, but he's just known about shit the entire time before the public knew about it. He just didn't go in until recently.
Before we did, and months before it even got exposed. And Kendrick is basically saying, like, I know what you've been up to, buddy. I'm not gonna say anything, but I know. With all that said, as everyone knows, Drake responded to Meek Mill with a now legendary diss record back to back.
Back to back like I'm Jordan 96, 97, whoa.
And being a day one Drake fan, for me personally, I was never more proud of Drake in his whole entire career than when he dropped back to back.
But did he write the song?
Back to back, tough tune, tough tune.
But once again, Kendrick responds to Drake just 1 month later
Here we go.
on Dr. Dre's Compton album.
But still I got enemies giving me energy, I wanna fight now. Subliminal sending me all of this hate, I thought I was holding the mic down.
In this one, Kendrick references Drake's
Once again, going after the dissing from for sneak dissing.
recent track, Enemies.
Got enemies, got a lot of enemies.
Oh yeah.
Kendrick is once again talking about how Drake keeps going the subliminal route, which at the end of the day is really no different from what he's doing, but he didn't stop.
Drake started the subliminal stuff though, because Kendrick was going straight up with it, and he was like, okay, you're gonna sneak this back, but eventually he decides to throw the punch.
There, as he did it again on another song from the same album.
Dang. 6. Okay.
The words they nominated 6 to carry him could potentially be a Drake reference, given the fact
Right.
that Toronto is referred to as the 6. And if this is the case, Kendrick is basically saying that everyone seems to think that Drake is his greatest opponent, but that he's a great white and that this is his aquarium, aka he's the king of hip-hop.
Fuck the big 3, it's just like me,
Have you ever
basically.
looked back on any and feel like you'd like to change any of the things that you've written, or
It'll be me saying I want to go deeper. I should have went deeper. You know, I shouldn't have held back.
Ooh. Hey man, he doesn't eventually. Yeah, he eventually fills up to that, man. He fills up to
Kendrick
that.
finally gets his well-deserved moment at the Grammys.
That's really
with
interesting.
5 awards, but more importantly, he finally clinched the Best Rap Album category with To Pimp a Butterfly.
Glory to
Finally,
God,
man.
that's for sure.
Drake also racked up a bunch of accolades in 2015. If you're reading this, it's too late. Broke Spotify's record for 17.3 million streams, and
Not like us now breaking the records for streaming days for a rap song, which is insane. Being a number 1 on Billboard as a diss track is so insane. I think that's the first time that's ever happened. It's just so insane, bro. Having the club sing a diss track calling you a pedophile is just just so crazy, man.
in its first week, Hotline Bling had dominated the charts, and his collaborative album with Future also did crazy numbers. And I mean, even at this
And then Future comes back, you know, we don't trust you.
point, anything Drake touches is gonna do numbers. Next, we get some inside information that this situation between Drake and Kendrick could have got really ugly. Former NFL player turned commentator
Ruh-roh.
Marcellus Wiley wouldn't say any names, but said that years earlier he interviewed one of the 2 rappers and it completely went off on the other.
The Drake Kendrick beef.
Let's be real, it had to be actually no, I don't let's see what he says.
When it was really starting to brew. Yeah. I was on Sports Nation at the time, and we taped the interview with one of the people, and that one person went in on the other person. We were ready to let this go, but then that one person's team made sure that didn't get out.
I think that had to be Drake, because Kendrick wasn't really trying to hit him that hard that far, and then Drake, it seems like something Drake's team would do, to try to suppress it so that he wouldn't get killed by Kendrick, yeah.
Marcellus was quoted in a DJ
And, you know, Drake just keeps poking the bear, man.
Vlad interview
And
as saying
his
that
team was like, guys, we gotta stop. Please stop.
went so hard in this interview that it could have brought the beef to the heights of 50 Cent and Ja Rule.
Which is an insane level of beef. 50 Cent bought out all the tickets to a Ja Rule concert so no one would show up.
You gotta keep in mind, Marcellus is trying to sell a book, and he claimed that in this book, he would expose everything that was said and who said it. And I bought the book. I spent the $13.99. I didn't read it. I searched it, and here's what he had to say. We even got Drake on tape talking major shit about Kendrick during
Yeah, I was right. Here we go.
an interview. Of course, after watching the interview, Drake's publicist wouldn't let us air that tape, but we still got it. Take my word for it. So that's it. That is the big expose. Like, I too was cheated, hoodwinked, bamboozled, and led astray.
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith clip. Very nice.
Marcellus Wiley. Now, we need to take any self-promotion tactics with a grain of salt, but the date surrounding this thing is very interesting. Kendrick drops the Control verse on August 12, 2013. In a Hot 97 interview on September 24th,
Drake is salty.
bitter.
Salty is a great word to describe Drake around this whole thing. Like, Kendrick didn't really do anything. Drake's just so salty.
The very next day, September 25th, Drake appears on ESPN. And you guys could tell me what you think, but to me, I believe this story. I believe
It makes
that Drake
sense.
did this,
It makes sense.
100%.
I personally enjoy making like great music and bodies of work over like being the talk of Twitter for like 5 days. You know?
However, in 2016, one man dominated the charts, and that was Drake, smashing record after record, pumping out
This is
hit
prime,
after hit.
prime Drake right here.
News sold 1 million in its first week and went on to become quadruple platinum that year. He had several #1 records, such as Work with Rihanna, For Free with DJ Khaled, and One Dance with WizKid. One Dance actually became Spotify's most streamed song ever, and Spotify also announced that Drake was the most streamed artist of 2016. Basically, in 2016, Drake just dominated. And speaking of For Free by DJ Khaled,
90
Drake actually
88 Jordan.
mentioned Kendrick on that song. Again, this appears to be more of a friendly nod to Kendrick, where Drake is
Yeah, that's not really a diss. It's just a reference to a Kendrick song.
referencing his song, which is also called For Free.
This dick ain't free.
However, 2017 was about to start, and Kendrick was about to take some of the most direct shots at Drake to date.
Oh, here we go. Tiptoeing around my name. Yeah, you're straight up. This is not a straight up diss.
What's most interesting about this track in
Here we go. The longer this goes on, the more Kendrick gets pissed off with the sneak dissing.
particular is the timing of when Kendrick put it out. Drake had just dropped his project More Life, which was mostly
You get the reference later. And a fucking dead beep that should never say more
a
life.
happy-go-lucky summer vibe that contained no shots at Kendrick whatsoever. And just a few days later, Kendrick drops this surprise, aggressive 116-bar track that
Bang.
is full of shots at Drake.
We're yelling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am the greatest rapper alive. So damn great, motherfucker, I've died.
It's no secret that Drake has claimed to be somewhere on this top 5 list, but more recently on More Life, he claimed that he was #1 on that list.
I know I said top 5, but I'm top 2, and I'm not 2, and I got one. Thought you had one, but it's not one, nigga, nah.
So let me get this straight. Kendrick hears this track, gets the pen out, jumps in the booth, and
He gets more offended. Kendrick gets more offended when people just say they're better at him at rapping. It seems than when they're doing the actual sneak dissing towards him. When someone just says I'm a better rapper than you, he gets way more offended. 'Cause he's like, this guy is just no, you're not. Shut up.
sends a clear message just a few days after Drake drops. that
5 days
he's
is
the
crazy.
best rapper alive.
Ho Jay-Z, Hall of Fame, sit your punk ass down.
Drake's been known to draw comparisons between himself and Hove, so it only makes sense that this shot was directed at Drake.
I used to want to be on Rockefeller, then I turned into Jay.
Lastly, Kendrick ends off the track to surprise fans and warn Drake that he's got a new album coming in a few weeks.
You know what time it is, Annie up, this is him forever. Y'all got to label the 7 to get your shit together.
Kendrick was really strategic in releasing this
Very
track,
nice.
as it took most of the attention off Drake's project.
He uses the same strategy later. It's really interesting seeing the same strategy eventually be used later when Drake kills a track and then Kendrick immediately drops a new one. To just to get the attention off of this one. That's a really, yeah. So he's been doing this strategy for a while.
Project.
That's pretty
And
interesting.
to add insult to injury, his fans flocked to Drake's Instagram account and spammed the number 4 in Roman numerals. And Kendrick, true to his word, he drops the album, and he has some more shots for Drake.
Niggas wanna flex on me and be in LA for free, huh? Next time they hit the 10 freeway, we need receipt, huh?
Kendrick references Drake's track For Free, and although Drake is from Toronto, he's lived in Calabasas since 2012. With that said, Kendrick is more than likely talking about how Drake was in Compton while shooting the video for 100. Kendrick is from Compton, probably didn't like it.
Most of y'all throw rocks and try to hide your hand. Just say his name and I promise that you'll see Candyman.
At this point, Kendrick is begging Drake to just call him.
He's like, say my name one time, say me by name, and you're just done for, bro. It's like saying Beetlejuice 3 times, bro. You don't want to do it.
To a popular 90s movie, Candyman, where the premise of that movie
yeah,
is
say it
if
5
you
times,
say
yeah.
Candyman's name 5 times, he'll come kill you. Kendrick is basically
That's prophetic right there. That's prophetic.
saying, if you say my name, your career is dead. And I think Kendrick has something on Drake. Something scathing, something that Drake doesn't want to see exposed. We've already
Once again, that's prophetic words right there. Prophetic
Drake
words.
a couple times now try to dead this thing. There's more coming. But yeah, Kendrick keeps going. And Kendrick seemingly mocks Drake's style of music on his song God.
You feel some type of way, then
There's nobody gonna tell me that he's not
Very
mocking
nice.
Drake here, because Kendrick doesn't usually sound like this. This is Drake. Next we hear Kendrick on Future's smash hit Mask Off, and this one is a very direct response to one of Drake's shots.
Plan 'em. Gotta look at yourself and ask what happened. How y'all let a conscious nigga go commercial while only making conscious albums?
Ooh, that's a good bar, because he's saying I'd be just as good as you at conscious rap if I did it, but he's saying I'm just as commercial as you while I'm making a conscious rap album. So that's a good bar. I like that.
Clearly a response to Drake's claims on 100 when he claimed that he could take all of Kendrick's fans if he were to pursue the conscious hip hop lane.
And I stayed on some conscious shit.
But Kendrick had proven time and time again that he could have commercial success and be conscious at the same time. At this point, he had 3 cohesive projects under his belt, all of which were extremely successful.
I'm African American. I'm black as the moon. Heritage of a small village, part of my residence.
Kendrick had also proved that he could easily navigate the pop music lane, having massively successful features with
Yeah.
artists like Taylor
Of course, Drake goes back and tries to arrest that later.
Swift.
We was OG like DOC, remember that?
And again, when you listen to that track, he's not compromising his sound. Like he's still rapping. It's all bars.
Yeah.
Now I'm sure.
Yeah, he's not like he's not like changing his image to make a pop song. He's just on a pop song doing his normal thing.
Sure none of you forgot about Drake's ghostwriter claims.
Of course.
Kendrick didn't forget either.
Haven't forgotten to this day.
In an interview with Rolling Stone, Kendrick gave his 2 cents on the situation. It depends what arena you're putting yourself in. I called myself the best rapper. I cannot call myself the best rapper if I have a ghostwriter.
Facts.
If you're saying you're
Definitely
a
agree with
different
that.
type of artist and you don't really care about the art form of being the best rapper, then so be it. Make great music, but the title, it won't be there. And no matter how you slice it,
I like that.
the
That's a
dude
good
is
quote
not
right there.
wrong. To be the best rapper, you need to write your bars. I would be lying if I said that when I found out that Drake had ghostwriters that I didn't look at his music differently. I still listen to his music, but even now, when he says something dope, I got this little voice in the back of my head that says, yeah, it's dope, but did he write it? However, Drake attempts to keep it friendly again
Plagues everything you do now. You can't say a good bar without people, suspecting that.
by tipping his hat to Kendrick when Damn outsold More Life by over 100,000 copies. Amazing to see our music moving. A fan had also commented, get Drake, Kendrick, and J. Cole on the same record, and Drake liked the comment. Now, I hope at this point you guys can see the theme of Drake trying to squash it, and Kendrick seemingly responds to Drake's praise on his track All the Stars with SZA.
Fuck you and all your expectations. I don't even want your congratulations.
Kendrick is not trying to hear it. Just save the bullshit.
Oh, you important, you the moral to the story. You endorsing motherfucker, I don't even like you.
I don't even.
Drake's trying to take all the shit he said back, but Kendrick is just like, no, you went too far. You poked the bear too much. Come on now, come on, fight me. Come on, do it. Come on, I dare you.
Which is true. However, on the exact same day, Drake drops a track with some of his most obvious shots to date, Diplomatic Immunity.
They try to compare us, but like a job straight out of high school, there's no you and I taught you everything. You know, now you got student pride.
Drake does not like the Kendrick comparisons, and he brings it back to when he helped Kendrick with his career early on.
Right.
What makes this clearly about Kendrick is the No You and I line, which were both tracks from Kendrick's To Pimp a Butterfly. The two would then go head-to-head at the 2018 Billboard Awards. Many question who would be crowned as Rapper of the Year, and once again, Kendrick came out drastically ahead.
He always comes out. When it comes to commercial success, it's Drake, but when it comes to actual awards and critics, it's always Kendrick.
And yet again, Drake attempts to be friendly by sharing some old Twitter DMs between himself and Kendrick. Yo, my man, what's the word? Finishing my project, Section 80. When you back in Cali? I know that shit'll be incredible. We gotta do something for real. I'll be back for BET Awards this month. And this could be one of two things, really. Like, Drake could be saying, look, man, we used to be cool. Like, remember? Can we get back to that?
Can we get, hey, man, please?
Or he could be
so
just
desperate.
throwing this back in Kendrick's face again, that he's the one that gave him a start, and like, I put you on, remember?
Yeah,
Regardless of the
I can see that.
reasoning, Drake still had another subliminal for Kendrick on Sandra's Rose.
Bury me and I'll be born again. I walk in godly form amongst the mortal men.
Again, Drake makes reference to another track from To Pimp a Butterfly with the words mortal men. In
Nice.
this one, Drake continues to insert himself as being a caliber above Kendrick.
But I don't know. I'm no mortal man.
And Drake ends off the year with even more compliments for Kendrick in a Rap Radar interview.
I have a lot of respect for, you know, the other two guys that I'm constantly.
Oh, they got. I'm sad they skipped over the Obama clip where they go, if Kendrick and Drake got in a rap battle, who would win? And Barack Obama's just like, I gotta go Kendrick.
You know, up against
Prophetic.
Cole and Kendrick.
Three-headed monster.
Yeah. So I have a lot of respect for those guys because they also continue to, you know, stay true to what we started with, and finding new ways to do it.
However, things go quiet in 2020. Keep in mind, Kendrick wasn't releasing any music, and fans started to question if the feud was over.
I don't think that the Drake-Kendrick tension is dead. I think that last decade they fought as long as they could fight, and the decade ended without us having a decisive winner. And I don't think either of them have gotten off of that.
And people call Joe crazy all the time, but Joe Budden is right about a lot of shit. He is. And while Kendrick has gone ghost, nowhere to be found, Drake completely dominated the music business. I'm talking about Oprah's Bank Account, Tootsie Slide, Nonstop, In My Feelings, God's Plan, Nice for What, Pop Star, Life is Good, Chicago Freestyle, Laugh Now, Cry Later. This is just undeniable. Like, there's no other artist on earth who is doing this except for Drake. However, in 2021,
When it comes to amount of hits, yeah.
himself, Kendrick Lamar rises from the dead and has some shots for Drake on Family Ties with Baby Keem.
Here we go.
Smoking on your top 5 tonight.
Again, he's firing back at Drake's now overstated top 5 claims.
Top 5, no debating. Top 5.
And Kendrick would continue on to address Drake's claims about being the GOAT.
I am the Omega. PG Lane Rolling Game SIE. Don't you address me unless it's with 4 letters.
At the end of the track,
nice.
Baby Keem seemingly reveals that Drake has been DMing his girl.
Number 2 DMing my. That's cool, that's why.
However, just a month later, Drake would reply to Kendrick again on his song No Friends in the Industry.
Which is just, that's the title itself. You can already see it's gonna be a sneak diss and some shit here.
Drake knows at this point, when it comes to selling records, when it comes to breaking records, nobody is standing next to him in hip-hop.
Yeah.
He simply dominates on a commercial scale. With all that said, Drake
it's the only thing he has.
was now celebrating 10 years of Take Care, and he decided to share an old photo of him and Kendrick. And I get it, like, you know, he helped with the project, nice gesture, but why keep doing this? Why keep being friendly to someone who doesn't respect you? However, at this
He's trying to make peace,
4
man.
years have passed since Kendrick had dropped an album, and while he was on a Milk Box Missing, Drake was still very much
On
active,
a Milk Box is
releasing
crazy.
Certified Lover Boy. That album went on to break Spotify's record for the most streams in a single day, and in that same year, he also had some notable bangers like Wants and Needs with Little Baby.
Come with a classic, they come around years later and say it's a sleeper.
But finally, after 5 fucking years, we get the Kendrick album.
5 years. Insane. Hey, man. Quality over quantity, man. Quality over quantity.
And sadly, a lot of people did not like this album. I'm not one of them. I absolutely loved it. I'm also...
Yeah, it's, yeah, people will always be, a lot, yeah, Cole and Drake both were shitting on this album, but a lot of people apparently really like it.
Big therapy guy, because I'm bipolar. I don't really have any choice but not be a therapy guy, but this project definitely connected with me.
It do be like that sometimes.
And it was on this album where Kendrick admitted on a song that he didn't understand why Drake and Kanye squashed their beef.
When Kanye got back with Drake, I was slightly confused. Guess I'm not mature as I think. Got some healing to do.
And in my opinion, this is just Kendrick's way of telling Drake that he has zero intentions of ever patching things up with him. And there's people that we meet all the time that we just don't like. Like sometimes it's for no reason at all. Kendrick's got a reason.
It do be like that sometimes. It just do be like sometimes. Sometimes you just don't like someone, okay? And you just go 10 years not liking them, and you're like, okay, why the hell are you making friends with this guy? Okay, I cannot do that personally. Because I just hate this guy, and, you know, if this guy's got beef with me, I'm not squashing the beef until it is squashed, okay?
Next, Drake
No
gets
amends.
extra petty by releasing a dance album, Honestly Nevermind, on Kendrick's birthday.
If I come around you, can I be myself?
Drake knows damn well that Kendrick is the last person that would ever release a project like this one, and what better way of saying, look at how versatile I am, than by dropping a project like this on his birthday. Now, I don't think this little stunt bothered Kendrick at all, but it was still pretty strategic from Drake. But Drake was not done yet. On a track with Lil Uzi, he took some really obvious shots at Kendrick.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, he goes with this fake woke thing, fake deep thing, and family matters too, and then Kendrick just crushes them at the next song, on the next track about the same thing, you know. It's because just, yeah, you can't be, Drake cannot, of all people, cannot be talking about people not being deep. It's just terrible.
So, just a few months earlier, Kendrick had very similar wording on his N95 track.
Take off the fake deep, take off the fake woke, take off the I'm broke, I care.
Drake is insinuating that Kendrick is more or less running a grift when it comes to what he's saying in his music. He's basically claiming that Kendrick doesn't really stand by or believe what he's preaching, and he also reminds Kendrick that he's the one who put him on.
Drake calling Kendrick fake is the most hypocritical shit I've ever seen in my entire life, dude. Like, oh my god. It's just, yeah. Insane.
Even more obvious is the line, now you gotta take a back seat, which is clearly a reference to Kendrick's backseat freestyle. And just like me, it looks like Drake really enjoyed Kendrick's new project as he showed up in the audience at Kendrick's show in Toronto. Again, Drake knows
Trying to make amends, bro.
He knows the blogs are gonna pick this up. The question is, was he there to show love, or was he there to play chess? I mean, at this point, based on the history of Drake's friendliness, I'm just going to chalk it up to him just trying to be cool with him again. And for Kendrick, what better way of...
He's trying to take all this shit back. Kendrick, no, he's already full force, man. He's already full force forwards.
5 years away than by dropping an album and cleaning house again at the BET Awards. Going into the awards, Drake was way ahead of everybody with 14 nominations, but it didn't matter because Kendrick mopped the floor with him, winning Best Hip Hop Video, Best Live Performer, Lyricist of the Year, Video Director of the Year, Album of the Year, and Artist of the Year.
Insane.
However, Drake wasn't very impressed with Kendrick's 5-year delay, and he let everyone know about it while on tour.
Oh, here we go.
I know about these guys that go away 3, 4, 5 years, want to chill out, all that shit. That's not me.
And I want to ask you guys this, how many times has Kendrick
Dude, this guy, how are you gonna roast someone for quantity over quality,
said
man?
something nice about
This is so
Drake
dumb.
in the last decade? Zero.
Now what's
Zero.
it?
It's all been Drake. We've got 7 or 8 examples here in this video of Drake complimenting Kendrick.
No love, man.
Saying that
No
he wants
love.
to do music with him,
Like Lil Wayne and
reminiscing
Eminem,
of
man.
old
No
times,
love.
Just being friendly with them, and Kendrick has said fucking nothing. I gotta tell you something.
The guy did a good job.
He did.
Did a good job with that. Edit. Good to see it edited correctly.
Here, what's the dirt?
Bitch, I'm about to blow up.
Alright, so that was a really good video analyzing the entire history of it, and we're gonna get to analyzing the specific tracks, the diss track started and what they were saying, and all of that. So this is a really good history, the 10-year history of how this has all been building up and eventually explodes here in the last few months. So yeah, if you enjoy my reactions, you want to see more stuff like this, like the video and subscribe, because I have a small channel. It really helps me grow out. I upload the NBA show / movie reactions and song music reactions, and just also whatever the hell I want. So yeah, bye.